Okay, the time is now 7:04. I will now call this meeting to order. At this time, please silence your cell phones and any electronic devices. We are sorry that we're running a few minutes late here. We had a workshop that ran a little bit over time. Your greeters at the door tonight is Economic Development Director Brian Rademacher and Human Resources Manager Samantha Potts. To my far right and your far left, we have Recording Secretary Tara Lockhart, City Clerk Susan Dodders, Deputy Mayor Zone 1 Commissioner Lori Tolland.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome.
Zone 2 Commissioner Travis Sargent.
It's actually good evening and welcome, but thank you.
Can I say good morning?
Yes.
It was a long meeting. Zone 2 Commissioner Travis Sargent. Got to you already, right? Directly to my right, to my left and your right, we have Zone 3 Commissioner Kristen Deaton.
Welcome.
Zone 4 Commissioner Howard Riley.
I think somebody had a long day. Good evening and welcome.
Yeah. City Manager Joyce Shanahan. Assistant City Manager Sean Finley. City Attorney Randy Hayes. And to my far left and your far right, we have Police Chief Jesse Godfrey and Fire Chief Howard Bailey. And I'm Mayor Jason Leslie. At this time, I'd like to call Reverend Larry Temple, Life Community Church, to come up for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we ask your blessing and favor on this meeting, this board, and this city of Ormond Beach. We pray for your guidance, peace, and clarity for these proceedings today. May the best decisions and outcomes come forth from this gathering today, and may your hand of provision, protection, and prosperity cover not only this meeting, but the entire city of Ormond Beach. And if you agree with that, say amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Moving on to the presentation and proclamation section of the agenda, this is a time we can acknowledge and celebrate individuals, organizations, and other community successes or achievements within our wonderful city. Today we have 2 proclamations and 1 presentation. I'd like to invite General Audino to come up here for the first proclamation. Sorry about that. General, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. How are things going?
Thank God I'm not in Washington, D.C.
All right. At this time, if you can, hold up your proclamation so everyone can see it. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and read it. Whereas General Ernest Ernie Audino, a distinguished veteran and dedicated public servant with a long and accomplished career in both the U.S. Army and public service, exemplifying leadership and dedication to the country and community. And whereas General Audino retired from the U.S. Army with the rank of Brigadier General after 28 years of service, during which he held significant leadership roles, including as Chief Combat Advisor embedded with the 3rd Brigade, 4th Division of the Iraqi Army in northern Iraq, and as a Deputy Director of Operations at U.S. Army Headquarters, G357, contributing to the critical military operations and strategy. And whereas following his military retirement, General Audino transitioned into public service as a district director for Congressman Mike Waltz, right upstairs, where he played a pivotal role in supporting Florida's 6th district, earning respect for his professionalism, leadership in organizing key initiatives, and his steadfast commitment. And whereas General Audino has been a dedicated leader in the community, having served as the keynote speaker at the Flagler County Veterans Day ceremony and the Ormond Memorial Arts Museum's Veterans Day tribute, sharing his valuable insights from his military service and honoring the sacrifices of veterans. And whereas, in addition to military and congressional work, General Audino has held prominent roles in the private sector, including Senior Vice President at Raiden Corporation and Senior Fellow at the Gold Institute for International Strategy, where he demonstrated exceptional expertise in national security and business development. And whereas General Audino's career in both military and civilian roles leaves a lasting legacy of leadership, mentorship, and dedication. As of April 1st, 2025, he began a new chapter as Executive Vice President of the CEO Business Alliance in Daytona Beach, continuing his commitment to economic growth and civic service. Now, therefore, I, Jason Leslie, Mayor of the City of Ormond Beach, do hereby proclaim May 6th, 2025 as a day to recognize General Ernie Audino. Congratulations. Also, I'd like to present you a little challenge coin here as well, as another thank you on behalf of myself and the commission here. So thank you. Now it's time for photo. Oh no, you got to come up.
So when the mayor told me this was coming, I told him, A, I hadn't earned this, but B, I would accept it on behalf of the team, because our team, Brandy here, Sue Bauer, many of you probably know Sue Bauer, Cynthia Miller up in our Palm Coast office, Captain Randy Stapleford, Nick Burnett, a wounded warrior, Air Force Special Operator, and Sherry Norman. They were phenomenal. So I had the easiest job in the world, frankly and truthfully. And last time I was here, the mayor didn't have a beard. Thanks, everybody. Congratulations.
Next, I'd like to call up the officers all in the back row there for National Police Week proclamation. And, of course, the police chief, where you at, AR? And Captain Roos, yes, you. How you doing, Chief?
Good, good.
Yeah? Yes, I do. All right. It's good to see you all. Whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as National Police Week, a time to honor the service and sacrifice of America's law enforcement officers. And whereas National Police Week is observed through collaborative efforts led by organizations such as the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, which hosts the annual Candlelight Vigil, the Fraternal Order of Police and its auxiliary, which organized the Peace Officers Memorial Day service at the U.S. Capitol, and Concerns of Police Survivors, which conducts the National Police Survivors Conference. And whereas the Police Unity Tour, founded in 1997 by New Jersey police officer Patrick Montour, is a 250-mile ride from Virginia to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., created to honor fallen officers and raise awareness of their sacrifice. What began with 18 riders has grown more than 2,600 participants nationwide. And whereas the Ormond Beach Police Department will proudly participate in the Police Unity Tour for the 9th consecutive year and the 11th year overall, with proceeds benefiting the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. Whereas Police Chief Jesse Godfrey represented the department in the 29th annual Florida Tour de Force, a 5-day, 270-plus mile charity ride from North Miami Beach to Daytona Beach shores, held April 7th to the 11th, 2025. The event honors Florida's fallen officers and raises funds for their families, uniting law enforcement and communities across more than 40 jurisdictions and 8 counties. And whereas recognizing the importance of public awareness, it is vital for citizens to understand the challenges and responsibilities of law enforcement professionals who work tirelessly to uphold safety, justice, and the rule of law. Now, therefore, I, Jason Leslie, Mayor of the City of Ormond Beach, do hereby proclaim May 11th to the 17th, 2025, as National Police Week. Thank you. There's more. Tonight, we represent the winners of the 2025 Mayor's Health and Fitness Challenge. The City of Ormond Beach has challenged our employees and residents since 2013. The Mayor's Health and Fitness Challenge is a public-private partnership to bring the community together to improve the health of Ormond Beach residents and staff. I would like to thank our sponsors, Advent Health, Florida Healthcare Plans, Halifax Health, and our health and awareness partners, Astro Skate Ormond Beach, GL Guts, Gold's Gym, Jazzercise, Larry's Giant Subs, New Journey Chiropractic, Nolan Nutrition, Ormond Beach Yoga, Ormond Beach Main Street, and Prime for Hydration and Wellness. Now to the challenges and winners. I would like to thank all the challengers for their participation. The winners of the 2025 Mayor's Health and Fitness Challenges from each group are 17 under, Eric Ross. 18 to 29, Sarah Dione. I might have said that wrong, sorry. (30 to 39), Felipe Manolas and Noel Eaton. (40 to 49), Commissioner Travis Sargent. He was looking forward to this all night. And Marcella Miller, or Marcella, I'm sorry. Congratulations. 60 to 69, we have Wiley White and Lucine Kira Kassian. Or Lucine Kia Lucine. Sorry. Last but not least, I'm not going to mention age category to be nice here, Leslie McDonald. Okay, so these are all your winners. Give them another round of applause. Okay. Do we do a photo now? We're going to get everybody together here? Yep. Thank you, and again to everybody. Oh, yes, thank you. Oh, thank you. Good job. Okay, hand this off. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to audience remark. At this time, we'll hear from those of you who have signed a card to speak about any item which is not on the printed agenda for this meeting, including any items on the consent agenda. Each person will be given a total of 3 minutes. First speaker I'd like to call up, Barbara Ward.
Good evening, Mayor Leslie and Commissioners. My name is Barbara Ward. I live at 757B Flamingo Drive in Ormond Beach. And in Ocean Village Villas, it's a restricted HOA with 250 homes. I love living in Ormond Beach. It has a beautiful beach, friendly people, and it's a peaceful community. But now I have something to worry about. Before I purchased a home, I had a thorough home inspection done. But I never dreamed or ever heard of an individual who's buying a home checking the condition of storm drains. In 2024, Hurricane Milton collapsed some of our storm drains, and several of the homes in our community were flooded, seriously flooded. This damage could have been prevented. Our city utility bill has a monthly charge for stormwater that includes storm drainage systems. With hurricane season just a month away, we are very concerned. We need improvements for our storm drainage system as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Just out of curiosity for a second, does the commission want to just comment on that real quick?
I can comment, Mr.
Okay.
Mayor. And I think staff can clarify, but this is a private HOA, and city engineer Alex Schumann and others have been working with them to determine and to help out. If you can correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct, and we've been out a number of times over the years to Ocean Village Villas. Recently, Alex has been out there with representatives from the management company, with representatives from the HOA, and so we're trying to work with them to give them some guidance on how they can help themselves and look at the areas that maybe we can help them as well.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Commissioner Sargent. Next speaker is Bill Milano.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Bill Milano. I live at 4779 South Atlantic Avenue in Ponce Inlet. I am a member of the Ponce Inlet Council, and I'm the treasurer of the First Step Shelter. The reason why I'm here is because of the First Step Shelter. Ormond Beach and Ponce Inlet are two of the original founding board members of the shelter. You've had Dwight Shelby and Susan Paresis, and now the mayor as the board members. A comment was made last month during the board meeting that Ormond Beach Council is considering not being a partner in the future with the shelter. We went through years and years and years together where the council told us that we would be having warmer dinners coming from the prison to the building of the shelter. We did this as a partnership. Our success is outstanding. In the last 5 years, we've placed over 900 people in housing. 88 of them are veterans. Almost 10% of our placement have been veterans. It is my hope that when you begin the budget process as a council, that you will consider staying as a partner with Ponce Inlet and part of the shelter to continue the outstanding work that has happened over the shelter. It was, as I said, it was a concern that they said that you just didn't feel enough people had been placed in the shelter by Ormond Beach and that you are concerned about the expense. That's all I have to say. You have a monthly report that is sent to your board member every single month. I distribute it to every single council member, my town manager, the assistant town manager. Look at the numbers that Ponce Inlet have sent, and you guys have done between 25 and 30 a year. We need you. We're a great partnership. We have worked together, and I hope we continue to work together. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you've got my card.
All right. Thank you, Bill.
Mayor, may I ask for a personal privilege to address this resident?
Sure. Well, he's not a resident here, but...
No,
Or this
I'm strictly Ponce
citizen?
Inlet.
I'm sorry, the citizen.
That's okay. I love Ormond Beach. You got one of the best little restaurants and ice cream shops down this street, and my wife comes here for her haircuts from Ponce Inlet.
We do.
I'm Granada, so please.
Well, we can do something real quick because I got a lot of speakers here, so I'll
Okay.
try to move along here.
All right. I just wanted personally to extend my gratitude to First Step Shelter for the invaluable work that you do in our community. You have been sharing the statistics via email, and they're proof of your unwavering commitment to serving our homeless population. The dedication of the First Step Shelter, offering a safe haven, exemplifies the very best work and compassion in action. And I appreciate all that you do and towards healing, recovery, and simply helping those get back on their feet. So I just want to just say thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to state that.
No problem.
I'd like
Commissioner
to...
Deaton?
Anytime. My phone number's there. I'm from Broward County originally, and I was a high school principal there for 18 years. So please feel free. Thank you.
Commissioner Deaton wanted to say one thing real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to thank you for coming out. I do appreciate that. Your comment is rather concerning to me. I know I've personally never said anything negative regarding First Step Shelter or pulling funds, and I did actually ask the city clerk if she could find that we had minutes regarding that, and she said we have never spoken about that. So I just want to assure you that we are trying to fix our transient issue in Ormond Beach, and I do think that we do need the First Step Shelter to help with that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And remember, we have a safe zone.
You are correct.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Next speaker is Sal Gentile, yeah, sorry, I can't read the writing here.
It doesn't matter, Gentile, Gentile. Doesn't make a difference. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. My name is Sal Gentile, and I'm a disabled Army National Guard veteran, and I'm also an international and national tinnitus, which is ringing in the ears, expert life coach. And basically what that means is I help people around the world. I've helped hundreds of people try to restore the quality of their life. I live with 4 severe noises, probably started most likely in basic training back in 1970 from loud explosions and the type of training we had. And of course it didn't materialize for decades, and I had a faint sound in my ear. And then approximately 15 years ago, on the day after my birthday, and I don't imbibe, I woke up that morning with 4 loud noises, and they were horrific. I thought I had brain damage. I didn't get out of bed for 4 days, and finally went to GPs and several different hearing professionals, and all I was told was, you need to learn to live with this and suck it up. But that wasn't good enough. And I have to tell you that there are approximately 700 million people, including disabled veterans like myself, who live with phantom noises, and our silence has been stolen, literally. And so in support of what I've just explained, and to get right to the point, I'm asking the committee if there's anything that you can do to promote National Military Appreciation May month, anything at all. Perhaps, I'm sure the residents would appreciate that. I know I would. So by helping me, we're basically helping others. And even if you promoted me and my contact information, I'm experienced in the field that I've been in. I've been doing this for 15 years. And so, again, I ask if there's anything you can do. The media, they just focus on, current administration events over and over again. And they have lack of staff now. And I really get no place with the media. So if there's anything that you can do to help, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Sal.
Mr. Mayor, would it be appropriate to ask Jen to share contact information with Mr. Gentile to help?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, Jennifer Bright.
At 7 p.m., April 15th, the City Council meeting, there was an agenda item to approve an intent to build CDBG Division Avenue North Side sidewalk improvements. At 1:37 p.m. on April 15th, prior to the committee meeting at 7, the city scheduled and released notification of a pre-bid meeting for the above agenda item. Again, prior to tonight's meeting and the agenda item attempt to bid CDBG Central Park Trail has been placed on the city's calendar for 5/22 for a pre-bid meeting. And the intent to bid airfield pavement reunification and remarking project was added to the city calendar on Sunday, April 27th at 9 a.m. for a May 27th pre-bid conference. It would appear that the bureaucrats of this city do what they want, and our commission is not in control, but only here to rubber stamp the spending. Second, the council just finished the second and final goal-setting workshop. The city has a third party, the Strategic Government Resources, SGR, come in and facilitate the goal-setting workshops. From what I heard in the first workshop, SGR was used 2 years ago when this exercise was done. Interested into what SGR charged the city, I submitted a public information request, and the city did inform me that the cost to find out would be approximately $121.19, by which Florida statute section 119 is allowed. And for that, I want to say thank you. I downloaded and rooted through the transparency portal only to find one invoice for strategic government resources. And that was from 2022, and it was for a job ad. Interesting. Never did locate any other invoices that SGR billed the city. But I was able to ascertain that the city spent at least $2,966 at Publix, Starbucks, Pandera, and The Grind just for this first phase of the workshop. Bon appetit.
Next up is Victor Cesari.
Good evening. Victor Cesari from 738 Bravo Flamingo Drive in Ormond Beach. I just moved there last year from Daytona to Ormond Beach. I love my community, from Ocean Village Villas. I'm a board member. I am a treasurer. I'm also a reserve analyst for condos and HOAs. And I want to remind those responsible for maintaining these storm drains at our community. That's the city's responsibility, that it's very important to keep up with the repairs and the maintenance of the storm drains. Us as a community, as a board, as an HOA, we are being proactive. We're getting our cameras, our storm drains cambered. We're most likely going to get them relined. And yes, people have been out here to help us, and we'd like the continuation of that support, please. When I just moved here, and I've heard that this issue has been an ongoing issue for many years. And I think it's great work what you guys are doing currently now with the storm drains. I think it's very overdue. And this is a very big ticket item. This isn't pennies here. We're talking thousands of dollars. There is a section of our community that we would like addressed. It seems like the city is kind of strayed away from that area, but again, I'd like the continuation of the support from the city and Alex as well, and other people have come in and told us this and that. It's conflicting, and we're going to take care of our responsible storm drains, or what's our responsibility when it comes to storm drains. We'd like the city to please address theirs. We don't have a private road, so anyone can come in. So that is city's responsibility. And in some areas in our community, you can see the road kind of dipping, or it could be a collapse, could be a small failure. So, and this has been going on for years. So I'd just like to thank everyone for their support, and please we'd like to get things done in a timely fashion, well overdue. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Next is Victoria Fallberg.
Good evening. I'm Victoria Fallberg. I'm the Executive Director of First Step Shelter. At our last board meeting on April 14th, Mayor Leslie let us know that his city commissioners had concerns about our shelter and were concerned about funding it again. I want you to be sure to know that we care very much about our partnership with Ormond Beach. And anytime anyone has any questions, please just give me a call. I left my card with the clerk. And so please don't ever hesitate. Ormond Beach has been a great partner, and we want it to stay that way. I have a great rapport with Chief Godfrey, and last year he invited me on a ride-along with Lieutenant Larson, and that went really well too. Mayor Leslie said that you're all concerned about our numbers. Since opening, between the Safe Zone and Shelter program, we've had over 5,000 referrals from law enforcement alone, not to mention all the referrals from elsewhere. Nearly 1,900 people have come through our shelter program, and 940 of them have been successfully housed. Of those who have obtained housing for at least 2 years, 93% are still in housing. We've successfully housed 88 veterans. According to a 2014 study by the Central Florida Commission on Homelessness, the cost in today's dollars for inpatient hospitalizations, emergency room fees, incarceration, and other systems associated with homelessness for just one single chronically unhoused person is $41,192 a year. Although most of these costs are not directly impacted by Ormond Beach, your participation with us makes our entire county a better place to live. Beyond the financial benefits, First Step Shelter provides our county with both a compassionate and comprehensive way of addressing homelessness. We do not give people a fish that lasts for just a day. We teach people how to fish so that they'll never be back on the streets again. We help our clients find their dignity and self-respect. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. You are always welcome at the shelter, and I'm always open again to any concerns. As you enter this budget season, I ask that you continue your partnership with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have several questions on this. Would now be the correct time to do that?
No, we're not. We're going to move on to the approval of the minutes now.
So when would be the correct time, Mr. Mayor, to address these concerns?
Do that, your closing comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
The minutes for the April 15, 2025 City Commission meeting have been sent to the Commission for review and posted to the city's website. I don't know what that's all about. Does anyone have any corrections or changes?
Move approval.
Second.
Any other conversation? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Minutes approved. We're going to move on to consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are deemed routine and non-controversial. The action proposed is stated for each item. Unless the City Commissioner removes an item from the consent agenda, no discussion on individual items will occur, and a single motion will approve all items. Does any member of the Commission wish to pull any items from the consent agenda?
Move approval.
Second.
Any other discussion? City Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Tolland?
Yes.
Commissioner Sargent?
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton?
Yes.
Commissioner Briley?
Yes.
Mayor Leslie?
Yes. Any commissioners wish to comment on any of the consent items at this time? Seeing none, okay, move on to the next. We're going to move on to 8A. City Clerk, please read the title.
Ordinance number 2025-18, an ordinance amending section 17-5, reserved of chapter 17, streets, sidewalks, and other public places of the Code of Ordinances by adding a new section titled Preservation of Public Spaces, providing terms and conditions and setting forth an effective date. This is the second reading of ordinance number 2025-18, read by title only.
I have no cards at this time. Second. Any discussion? Seeing none. City Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Sargent?
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton?
Yes.
Commissioner Briley?
Yes.
Commissioner Tolland?
Yes.
Mayor Leslie?
Yes. Move on to 9 now. We'll move on to staff and commission reports, suggestions, and requests, starting with the city manager, Joyce Shanahan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all for your time this evening as you went through your strategic planning process. That's very helpful for staff, especially considering the upcoming meetings we have. You'll have your regular meeting on Tuesday, May 20th. Tuesday, June 3rd is your CIP budget workshop. That's the first in the series of the budget workshop is the capital budget first and then the operating budget. So, and then you take a brief break through on June 23rd, you're going to CIP workshop at the regular meeting, and then you'll review the capital improvements plan. On July 22nd will be the operating budget, and you take your break between June 3rd and July 22nd. So please mark those on your calendars. I want to recognize Susan Daughters tonight. Susan has, she loves that. Susan stood up our Citizen Academy, and it's been wildly successful. The mayor of the town of Strasburg Virginia, Brandy Hawkins was so impressed with our Citizens Academy program, she requested information from our city clerk and has since begun to promote their own Citizen Academy. Congratulations to the city clerk and their staff for their hard work in delivering such a great program to our citizens. Thank you. Please join Master Naturalist Joan Teague from the Halifax River Audubon Society for a free series of casual bird watching walks at the Environmental Discovery Center along the trails of Central Park on Wednesday, May 9th and May 13th at 8 a.m. Swing into Spring free concert series begins on Thursday, May 8th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. on the Casements North Lawn. Enjoy live performance by Lucy Spots. Registration for Summer Connections Day Camp is underway and will remain open until filled. Please contact Leisure Services for more information. We also have the opportunity, free to the city and free to the camp participants, to offer breakfast and lunch for those camp participants. You heard from First Step Shelter. We have shelter statistics that we can provide you if you're interested. And let's see, what else do I have? And lastly, I would like to recognize the Ormond Beach Police Department and all their personnel for the outstanding work that they do in our community every day under the leadership of Chief Godfrey, Captain Roos, and Captain Smith. So thank you all very much. And I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Joyce.
Okay, thank you.
Assistant City Manager, Sean?
Nothing further. Have a good night.
City Attorney?
Nothing this evening. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Randy. This evening we'll begin with Commissioner Briley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the interest of time, it's pretty quick this evening. I'll be brief. I would like to reference, and I don't have it in front of me, but I'd like you to reference an email that probably most of us got, if all of us didn't get it, from former Commissioner Jeff Boyle in regards to the A1A sidewalk replacement. I concur with Mr. Boyle that we, I think, as the city of Ormond Beach, were expecting when DOT removes a concrete sidewalk to replace it with a concrete sidewalk, not something that's asphalt. I read a response from the DOT representative to Mr. Boyle's email, and I have to say I disagree quite a bit with what he has to say. Number one, I think most of us know that asphalt does not hold up near as well as concrete. Especially when it gets hot, it's hotter than concrete. People like to walk their dogs along those types of trails. It's very hard on a dog, any sort of animal. It does not hold up as well. As I said, concrete can get soft in the summer heat. It's not attractive, and it's a maintenance nightmare. Water will collect on asphalt and create potholes. We see it all the time with roadways. Doesn't happen with concrete. So I would like us as a city commission to reach out to the FDOT and let them know that an asphalt multimodal facility or multi-purpose facility trail, if you will, is not acceptable with the city of Ormond Beach. I don't know if anyone else has any comments on it, but that would be my suggestion would be for staff to reach out to FDOT and tell them we are not happy with what they're doing up there.
So I was at a meeting with this Ormond Beach Scenic Loop and Trail. They requested a meeting with FDOT, and probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was fortunate enough to be in attendance, and that was their big gripe as well. I will say FDOT was very congenial, and a lot of the problem was a communication issue. But at the end of the day, the Scenic Loop and Trail people really wanted the concrete as well. So just wanted to share that. But the only other thing I need to put out there is I also had a conversation with Pat Northey, who does a lot of the trails in Volusia County. And she said that the asphalt is a preferred trail for pedestrians and bicyclists. Saying that, her trails are in DeLand and tree canopy areas. This is somewhat unique in that it's up on A1A.
Right, and it's going to be exposed to the sun all day.
Correct.
And I can appreciate FDOT being congenial, but they're congenial with a lot of things and still do what they want to do. So, you know, they can be as fast as they want to be about it and just keep going the way they're going, so.
Point taken.
Mr. Sargent?
I think it was a horrible idea what they did up there. We have people that walk to and from the beach, and you're going to put asphalt down? Black asphalt? I mean, I guess it's great that the scenic loop people who are not even our residents can ride their bicycles through here.
No, the scenic loop people wanted concrete.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that they did not.
No, the trails people generally like trails because they're softer in asphalt, but those trails are generally canopy driven through
So,
forests.
Commissioner Briley, can you pave over asphalt with concrete?
Can you pave over asphalt with concrete? Not suggested.
Okay, so they would have to rip it all up, and so basically we're stuck with it.
Correct.
Thank you. I'm willing to send a letter, but it's unfortunate.
Well, they could remove the concrete, they could remove the asphalt.
I'm good to send a letter. I've received a number of complaints, mainly from people who are walking dogs.
Okay. We'd like to put a letter together then, if you could do so, and prepare it. Thank you. Do you have any more closing remarks, Commissioner Briley? Okay. Commissioner Tolland, Deputy Mayor.
Great. Thank you so much. This month is recognizing the need to support mental wellness. It's Mental Wellness Month. To those in need of mental wellness and those struggling with addiction, know that there are people there to support you. I applaud the organizations that are meeting the needs of the community head on. Sometimes closely related to mental health conditions are drug and alcohol abuse. I'd like to share with you that according to our medical examiner, the overdose deaths are down by 25% in Volusia County. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show that more people who overdose are able to be revived. The hope is to get them into recovery. Much of the success of the decrease in overdose deaths can be attributed to the Narcan, as well as education on how to use it. The one-box Narcan kits distributed by Volusia Recovery Alliance, funded by Advent Health, and the county vending machines through Foundation to Freedom all contributed to this decrease. I hope that this downward trend continues and we can continue to address the stigma that is attached to mental health conditions. I also want to thank Sal Gentile for coming today and bringing to awareness to Military May. I want to thank you for your service and what you're doing for our community. I know that Jen with the city has given you information. I also ask that you reach out to the Ormond Beach Observer, and I'm sure their number is on the paper, and I'm sure they will be able to help you as well. Reach out to the community. I put a little fundraiser card up on your desk, and I went to the Volusia County Lions Club. What they're doing is it's a fundraiser, and what they are raising funds for is because they offer free vision and diabetes screening. They were just at our library last week. Hank Lunsford and his group does just a tremendous job and travels all around Volusia County. I'm just going to list a few of the events that we probably all went to just for the sake of listing for our residents. We all appreciated the Casements Guild Appreciation Lunch. There was an Earth Day and Tree Celebration, which was very successful. The Ormond Beach Chamber Golf Tournament was raising money for the Rob Ritter Scholarship. There was an event with the Florida League of Mayors, a regional event in Sanford that was very enlightening. The Jewish Federation had a concert at our Performing Arts Center. Misha Biton is a musician and a storyteller, and he shared his personal experience regarding the October 6th attack of Israel. I was able to enjoy going around with the Ormond Beach Chamber, honoring the Teacher of the Quarter. It was a lot of fun. It's always fun when you surprise folks. The Ormond Beach Yacht Club presented Living Shorelines last night, and that was offered by the Marine Discovery Center down in Ponce Inlet. Great ideas looking at our shoreline and how we can restore some areas. And I also attended a stormwater task force meeting where municipalities heard from FDOT, the county, and other municipalities' challenges with flooding. The group discussed how cities will move forward and collaborate, addressing flooding and pending stormwater issues with weather events. The biggest takeaway is that Ormond Beach is ahead of the game, and I just want to thank our staff for being proactive with what we do here. And finally, on a very sad note, I would like to extend my deepest sympathy to the Fred Haynes family. Fred was a very passionate man of service to others. He particularly to this community. He served on many boards. His love was the business of the airport particularly, and Fred will be missed, and may he rest in peace. Good night.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Commissioner Sargent.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was hoping to have an open dialogue earlier when the speakers were here, but I was denied that privilege. So therefore, I'll have a one-way conversation and just express my thoughts that I have regarding the First Step Shelter. Then I'll get into my closing comments. So back on April, and pardon me, I have a lot of information here that I just want to get out. On April 15th at 12:24, the Daytona Beach News Journal posted an article and it had comments in there that I'll just read verbatim. It said, our representative on the board warned that his city commission have expressed doubts about the shelter. And then it goes on to say, Ormond Beach commissioners are unhappy with the results. Then on April 15th at 4:10, those comments were redacted, and the following statement was put in. And it said, our representative warned that his city commissioners have concerns about the number of homeless people in Ormond Beach. That is correct. We discussed that on the dais. And then it was another comment in this article, the new article says, I can't stress this enough. I think we're on thin ice. We could be in jeopardy of losing tens of thousands of dollars. So it's a little interesting how these articles got redacted or changed. And then we get multiple emails from other board members listing concerns that were discussed at that board meeting. I'm not going to go on to read them all. Everyone wants to get home. But I will say that there is strong evidence that our board appointee has misspoken on my position regarding the First Step Shelter. I support the First Step Shelter. I think they do an amazing job. Yes, we may not utilize it like we could, but look what our neighboring municipalities and how they're utilizing it. And those are less people coming into our communities. So I just want the First Step Shelter and the board members to know that the comments that were made do not represent Commissioner Travis Sargent. With that being said, Commission, I think it would be in the best interest to show our support to the First Step Shelter by sending a letter of support to them. And we all can sign it, or we cannot sign it. It's up to you. But I would like to send a letter of support for past support and future support. And I would like this to be done before their Monday board meeting. We can either scan it or have it hand-delivered, whichever you all would like. Would anyone else like to send a letter?
I would be willing to send a letter of support.
I as well am willing to send a letter. I'm also concerned that I was spoken for, and that's not necessarily my perception of First Step Shelter.
Yeah, I have no problem with the letter.
Thank you. So Joyce, I believe we have a consensus on the dais, and if that letter could be ready before Friday so we could all sign it and have that delivered, I believe their board meeting is on Monday. Thank you. And I really appreciate all that First Step Shelter does. When I read through the weekly update that we got, pardon me, I thought I had it handy. So much of these emails. In 5 years, they have supported 158 veterans with an average of over 40 veterans every year in the last 3 years. I mean, the numbers just go on and on and on. It's a great organization. I can't say it enough. I support the First Step Shelter. The only comment I ever made about the First Step Shelter and possibly taking away funding was last year when there was discussion about it being privatized, and then I would not be willing to support it. But as it stands today, I will fight to support the First Step Shelter. I think they do an amazing job. Now on to other closing comments. Could we get an update, could staff get an update from Volusia County Schools regarding the status of Ormond Beach Elementary? I know that there's been talks about that going away and something. Can we just get clarification? Thank you. Is there a status update on reclaimed water? I've seen some issues happening, maybe out in Breakaway area where it was intermittent. I don't know if there's an issue with the reclaimed water. I know that we're in a drought season, but just wanted to see, is there anything?
Yeah, we're at that time of year where we have a stress system. So we see people using the water outside the watering limits. And so we have had a couple occasions. We did have a break at the connection point to Deer Creek, which we've I think have got addressed and taken care of. We have had occasions here in the past couple weeks where we've had to turn it off on non-watering days to limit it, so we make sure we have water for the residents to use on those watering days. We do try to communicate that as best as we can, and we will do a better job if we haven't done a good job.
If we can get that out on social media, maybe just, yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Art in the Park this past weekend was great. Thank you to staff. This is an event that Parks and Recreation puts on. It was great to see so many families, parents, grandparents, dog owners, everyone just enjoying the beautiful weather that we had. The rain came a little bit, but held off for the most part, and it was just a great event to go partake. The one thing I would ask is if we could, next year, offer a section for children to be able to sell their items at and charge them a reduced rate. I think it's important for them to understand how to run a business, and I think that they should pay a fee to an entry fee to it, but I don't think they should have to buy a whole booth, if you will. The city of Daytona did this down at the Espionage 2 months ago just for kids, and it was completely sold out. And most of the residents that were there, most of the kids, were from Ormond Beach. So I don't know if we can look into that, please. The Mayor's Golf Tournament was a great event. First time I swung a club in 15 years. It was a sold-out event that the Chamber puts on. And it's unfortunate that the gentleman that I filled in for, because he had to leave town, Don Young, passed away last night at 55 suddenly. So his family is in my thoughts and prayers. The Mayor's Fitness Challenge, that was great. A keynote on that, there was 5 of us that won it last year as well. So I think that's a good fact on
How much
that.
weight did you lose? That number wasn't shared.
10 pounds.
Okay, just asking.
The health department recommends 2.5 pounds per week, so I'd like to follow rules. The Donut Dash was a fundraiser for the Police Athletic League.
Was that after your way out?
That was
the
before.
Donut Dash? Oh, okay.
That was before. Thank you, Commissioner Briley. That was in the trails. That was a 3.1 mile run. My oldest son, Everett, at 9, came in second in his age group. My youngest son finished with me carrying him on my shoulders for more than half the way, but we finished. The This past weekend was the second law enforcement torch run, which was held out at the quads. It was a fun 1 mile race, and it was great to be able to carry the torch for a little bit in that race. And in the past 2 years, it has grown to support from 60,000 special needs athletes to over 78,000 to date, and these athletes get to participate in events at no cost to them or their families. And Ormond Beach Police Public Safety Officer Pauline sang the national anthem. She did amazing job, and she was getting married that afternoon. It was very great, and it was great to, as always, to see the police or the fire department with their fire truck out there with the ladder with the big American flag flying. That just is just amazing to see every time y'all do that. I'm almost done. Thank you, Sal, for your service. I, too, am a disabled veteran. I think we can get that out on social media and appreciate your service. Today, the Governor DeSantis, signed a bill that bans fluoride in Florida's drinking water. It goes into effect July 1st. And his quote was, "It's forced medication when they're jamming fluoride into your water supply." That was from Governor DeSantis. Now on to another note. The month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Let us take a moment to reflect on an aspect of our lives that often goes unnoticed and unspoken: the state of our mental health. Just as we routinely care for our physical well-being, we must prioritize our mental health with the same urgency and compassion. Mental health affects each and every one of us. It is woven into the fabric of our everyday experiences, shaping how we think, feel, interact with the world around us. Yet, despite its universal impact, mental health is often shrouded in stigma, misunderstanding, and silence. This month serves as a vital reminder that we must break the silence, shatter the stigma, and foster an environment where open conversations about mental health are not just welcomed, but embraced. 1 in 5 adults experience some form of mental illness each year. These numbers remind us that mental health challenges are common and can affect anyone, regardless of age, race, gender, socioeconomic status, whether it is anxiety, depression, bipolar, or any other condition. We must acknowledge that these challenges are real and deserving of empathy and support. Let us remember that mental health is not simply the absence of mental illness. It is the state of well-being. It encompasses our emotional, physiological, and social well-being, influencing how we think, feel, and act. Good mental health can empower us to cope with life stresses, engage with others meaningfully, and make informed decisions. Conversely, poor mental health can lead to significant challenges, impacting our relationships, productivity, and overall quality of life. This month, I urge you all to educate yourself and those around you. Share resources, attend workshops, and participate in community events. Let's discuss mental health openly in schools, workplaces, and homes. By fostering a culture of awareness and understanding, we can create safe spaces for individuals to share their struggles and seek help without fear of judgment. Additionally, let us not forget the importance of taking care of ourselves. Simple practices such as mindfulness, exercise, and building supportive networks can contribute significantly to our mental well-being. Let's encourage one another to seek professional help when needed, because reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. As we move forward, may we carry the spirit of Mental Health Awareness Month in our hearts and actions throughout the year. Let's commit to standing together, supporting one another, and advocating for the future where mental health is recognized as a fundamental part of the overall health. Together, let us inspire change, spread awareness, and cultivate a community where mental health matters. If anyone ever needs anything, you can call me on my cell phone at 386-481-0567. I think this is a very important month, and I take it personal. I had a roommate in the Marine Corps who took his own life. And if we can save one life just by answering that phone, it's impactful. Thank you.
Commissioner Deaton.
Thank you. It feels like we have attended a lot of events lately. I'm particularly disappointed that I had to miss the torch run this past Saturday. My son qualified for regionals as a freshman for varsity track, and we had to be in Satellite Beach, so I'm sorry I had to miss that. I would like to encourage everyone to please go to Ormond Beach Burger Week. There are 20 local restaurants who are participating. All of the burgers are $10 each. You can get a lot of the information on social media, but it is good through Sunday. I have done, I believe, 8 now, so I definitely encourage everybody to definitely go if you can. I think my favorite is Fat Polly's, so definitely try that one. That one's a great one. Lastly, I definitely have concerns regarding the statements for the First Step Shelter. I don't think we can be proactive about our transient issue if we are shutting down the doors or the funding for First Step Shelter. I also don't think that that's something that we should be speaking about when it is something that we are going to have to vote as a commission on. So I don't think that that sort of thing should be brought up. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not going to elaborate. I know there was some other elaborations on it, but I have concerns. That's about where I'll leave it. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Well, going last here, I have a lot of things that everyone touched on because we go to a lot of the same events too. So I'll just be a little more summarized on it. I'd like to congratulate the PAL organization and everyone else involved with the Donut Dash. That was a lot of fun. I know my colleague to my right here participated as well. Good job. The torch run was really a success, I think, too. The location used this year, I thought was really well planned out. So I was really happy with that as well. Excuse me. I'd like to thank staff for helping us with some of the obstacles that we have to go through and emails when residents reach out to us. I know that one of the things I talk about is with government, things move slow, and I'm kind of more of a fast-moving type of person, coming from the private sector. So when a resident reaches out to at least me and there's an issue with something that could be corrected pretty fast, I direct it to staff, and staff has really done a good job of being on top of that. And then hearing back from a resident at a pretty timely fashion, thanking me for doing what they do and thanking staff, it's really nice to get that gratification as well. I think our workshop went very well. The speaker that we had did a great job with putting our goals together. It's something we've been working on for quite a bit now, and I think it was really, really good. So I'm looking forward to moving ahead with some of those goals that we have in mind. I will say that the event in Sanford that we went to, myself and Commissioner Deputy Mayor Tolland did, that was a nice event. Those events are, so the League of Mayors president, who is a Daytona Beach Shores mayor as well, Nancy Miller, one of her priorities in that program was to we mean business and bringing business together in your local government. So we always have a great time with connecting with some of the local businesses in the different cities that we visited. We did St. Augustine as well. That was another nice trip. As far as some of the other comments that were made about the first step, I'm not going to really get into that too much tonight. I think I said what I had to say. That was in the newspaper. I am focused on just trying to work on transient issues like everyone else, I think, that's sitting here in a dais, and I think that's what's important. This finger-pointing thing going back and forth is just not something that I really want to engage in. I think that we all have the same goal, and that's to have a successful program that's giving people options for a place to go And I think that's what our focus is, and we're going to continue doing that as a group here, I think. So with that, I'm going to close out the meeting. Good night, everyone.